Alright, hey everybody. Welcome into another episode of Machinery Talk. This is episode 9. And in this episode for you, we take a trip to Powerland Heritage Park to take in the 4th of July Civil War reenactments. And we also take a look at the All-American Vintage Trailer Rally, which was on the same weekend at Powerland Heritage Park. So they have 2 Civil War reenactments each day. Each of them are about 45 minutes. So yeah, we're gonna have we'll have the first battle of the day, and then we're gonna have a nice walk through the reenactment camps, and then I think we go straight into looking at the vintage trailer rally that was put on by the Facebook group Rolling Oldies. And then we'll go right into the second battle of the day, and then I'll bring it back here to the studio and for to sort of wrap things up, and then that'll be it. So, without further ado, sit back, relax, and enjoy this trip back in time. The calm before the storm. On this fine July morning. I didn't set the counter up the way that I wanted to set the counter. Oh well.
Out step! Out step! Mark! Out step! Foul right. Out step! Get out, get out. Go on. Go, go, go. I'm thinking of this one. Yeah, come on, Robert. Double quick. Double quick. Double quick. Behind him, please. Double quick. Double quick. Quick. That's a double kick. Five. Right shoulder shift, lad. Thank you. Get out of hand. Up the rock.
We got the Confederates behind us.
Alright, Barb, hold on. I hate to say it, but they're not. Alright. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. Leonard, thank you so much. Wait, we hit a rock or something. There we go.
See, we avoided all the grass coming down, but ooh, somebody just ran over.
I thought they were going to be coming straight at us, but now it looks like they're going to go lateral. Whatever. Looks like we got a good crowd that showed up today, so that's a plus, even though it's a little bit cloudy.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are you this fine morning? On behalf of Northwest Illinois Council, I'd like to welcome you to our first annual reaction of this Toronto weekend. How many of you have ever been with us before? Oh, wow. Welcome, welcome. We hope that we can present to you a very fine spectacle. It's still a little difficult to do interesting things on, but our field engineers have been out there sending field certification. And we will be ready to go. As you can see, the armies are assembling. And we will be with you in a very few minutes. So sit back, relax, and enjoy your day.
Where them Union boys went. It's almost 11 o'clock on this fine morning. stage is set. And all is quiet. This really is a perfect setup that they got.
Movement. Ready.
Oh, bing boom. You're gonna do it again? We got the Union on the other. They're moving the cannon. See, they moved it up a little bit. They moved it just a little bit. Alright, these guys, are they going to get ready? something for somebody. Kevin Williams moved that. They're going for the gun. Look out.
Well, the motor one, I have one, but it's bottoming out and coming loose. So I didn't want to take a chance of it falling off the train.
And we'll see this comfortably rising again. Let's do the big hand, ladies and gentlemen.
That's where I did it before.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man. What do you want that people?
I feel like a zombie. I'm doing better as well as I can. It makes me sleep.
Don't know what he said. Probably inviting everybody to check out the camps, which we will get to in a bit. There's gonna be something.
We're gonna go look at the train.
I want to see if I can ride on one.
Some point you have to do it. After the train.
You want to go ride on the train?
Everybody gets to take a bow. No, in all seriousness, it was a good battle. Fantastic. Very enjoyable experience.
No, this is just.
I look forward to doing it again sometime. Maybe later today.
The train tracks right there. Yeah, it's supposed to be like 50 of them.
Before I introduce these fellows to you, we have a couple of scholarship awards to be made. And I'll turn the microphone over to Mrs. Ward.
Great. That's everyone.
Texas fought many hard battles that beat it in search of the round cup. North Texas. From the Valley of Virginia, over the famous Stonewall Brigade, fought many hard battles before Virginia.
Where do we live?
First Louisiana Special Battalion. Most dangerous place in the line battle was carrying the colors. So you know it's musket on the other side of the field within right at you. Confederate color guard. Now some folks have called these the angels of the battlefield. They defended on both sides without left or hindered. Fan favorite, let's CSA Medical Corps. Now providing music for all occasions, Capital Parade Corps, the Confederate Private Drum Corps. And we saw these fellows have to open the battle, trying to recross dismounted as well as mounted. And we have divided dismounted to First North Carolina and the 9th Virginia. Saw a few Germans in there. Confederate Battalion under the command of Colonel Stanley and his battalion staff. Now the less victorious army of the land. These boys achieved notoriety before the war, being entirely composed of Irishmen, so was refusing to turn out to parade soldiers since the war. The 69th New York. And this regiment of Scottish patriots fought everywhere from the plains of Manassas to the swamps of South Carolina to the hills of eastern Tennessee. Let's hear it for the 79th New York Highlanders. These boys are the only regiment of Minnesota in the Army of the Potomac. On the 2nd of July, 1863, Winfield Scott Hancock asked them to stop 4 times their numbers from Oxford Road. Stop them they did. First Minnesota.
You betcha!
He likes having his hands over
And these boys are the longest existing
Doesn't she have a
regiments
beautiful
in the
dress
United
for you?
States Army.
Because
Still
she's
serving
very
today.
pretty.
The 4th U.S. And about the same time that the 1st Minnesota was stopping up the Dave Hughes boys who were pouring in the southern flank with a round top. About to be hit by the elements of 3 or 4 Confederate brigades. They gave them the bayonet, the 20th Maine. From the coal fields of Pennsylvania, the 1st Regiment of the famous Irish Brigade, under a few Germans got in as platoon, the 116th Pennsylvania. Also, the folks who saw help open the battle day, fighting dismounted, the 1st and 4th U.S. Cavalry. And the 7th Michigan. Also bearing the flags for our side, the 149th New York Color Guard. And last but not least, our field positions on the Union side, the Army of the Wild Private Drum Corps. And a special hand for the Bureau. The battalion under command of Colonel James Campbell and his battalion staff. that's the big game. And let's have a hand for the 2nd U.S. Artillery, Rockbridge Battery Artillery, and Light Artillery. Also, we're waiting a hospital demonstration about 4:15 into the let's look for the hospital and something new about
My dad was with the town for a long time. I think just because he had like working.
it all out here. Interesting. Good stuff. Later, either over there or over there.
He's threatening to get me when I
Yeah. Make way. Because it's not gonna be. There's no zoom. So. Out there.
Hold it! Oh! One ball's right!
They're gonna do something. They're gonna do something. I wonder what that is. Maybe it's an early version of it. Oh, that's some big stuff to go boom. Stuff to go big boom. Well, I was thinking about, earlier this week, I was thinking about our, what role the visitor plays, and like why, but it's actually historical. People would line up to watch the battles, so the clothing has changed, but the act of watching the battle has not changed. All the way from the from the Napoleonic Wars to through the Revolutionary War, it was customary to line up and watch the battle. The Civil War has the distinction of it was like the first modern war, so that kind of ended, but Okay. I think we're gonna go to the other side now. That was a little modern convenience. Wow, that's a good setup. This is actually pretty nice. Looks like they're practicing something. Like a drill. Okay. Let's see how the Union boys are doing, huh? I don't know what when we were here for that free museum day, I don't know what that guy was talking about. He was saying that they'd all get on the trolley right over there, but they're right here. New York Volunteers, hey, there you go. You can reenact with us today. Free use of our loaner gear. Ask for the Highlanders. That was so funny. Oh, that's great. Yeah. That's great. Practice makes perfect, right? They didn't do that for... Well, they did do that for the real thing. You gotta make sure you look good, too. You know, half of it is looking good. Okay, well, I don't know, it might be all mixed up and whatnot, but yeah, that's good. Looks like there's a good turnout, huh? Yeah. I don't know. But we could look at that later.
If we wanted to, we can bend around. And I had even a smaller one. A smaller bone saw actually is in my pocket amputation kit. It was over there, but that's the same thing right here. That's my pocket. That's a pocket amputation kit there. It's got a few things that were in here, but some of it's smaller. These are my scalpels here. These four, they're different shapes, curved and straight. This is called a tenaculum. It's not a button. What we do with this is, as we're doing an amputation, there will be things that, or any type of surgery that get in the way.
Right.
Blood vessels, or tendons or ligaments, and we can hook those and move them out of the way while we do our surgery. That's what those are for. Underneath here are the amputation knives. These are used in this order. First we use the scalpel to cut through the skin. Then we use one of these knives, or it's a single edged knife like that we could use, or a double edged, it's called a Catlin, that is much quicker, let's put it that way. With this you have to make a slice, and then you have to go underneath it, turn it upside down, and make another slice to go through the flesh. With this one, you can make the slice here and just come right back. The second edge to grab the rest of the flesh. Once it's exposed the bone, then we go to the bone saw. It takes, to amputate below the knee, it takes maybe 15 minutes to do it. After the man is, the term is called rendered senseless.
course, they'd get
Made
him drunk.
unconscious.
They
Oh,
made him get him drunk.
No, it didn't get him drunk.
Back
We
in
used
the
either
day.
ether,
Okay.
ether or chloroform.
Yeah.
We had both of them.
They had
Yeah.
ether and chloroform as early as the 1840s. for
Yeah.
ether.
And
Hmm.
1848 was when both were put on the pharmacopoeia as medication of some kind.
Before that, they were party drugs.
That's the way they found out that chloroform especially could knock you out. Do something to you because they'd sniff it, and then later on they'd wake up and they didn't know what had happened. Some physicians evidently got involved in that and figured out, oh, wow, we can fix this. Have some painless surgery. Yeah.
Well, surgery, they don't remember it anyway.
There you go.
Precisely.
There you go.
where did you find all your stuff, and like how long have you been doing this
Now,
stuff?
as far as doing the surgeon thing, for me it's been what now? 6 years.
Wow.
But I've been a nurse for 7. We moved out here 5 years. Just over 5 years
5.5
ago.
years ago.
Oh yeah.
Before that, I trained with, and then eventually he came on board, the largest medical in the Midwest.
Medical reenactment.
They are so well known that the National Park Service has hired them to come out to a couple of sites
Just like that.
at least once or twice a year.
Yep.
So we trained under them. In answer to you, where do we find stuff? Odds and ends.
These are all replicas, with a few exceptions. There's some stuff in here that's original. This morphine syringe is original to the Civil War period. And I believe these are too. This is a foreign object extractor, another instrument of torture.
Yeah, you can just find a hole, reach in there.
Most everything else, believe it or not, they call them sutleries that sell things here. The sutlery that provides most of this stuff is right here in Oregon. It's the Milk Creek sutlery. And she has all of this stuff. Now,
It
this
also
was
pays to have connections
Yes.
to the
this was actually given to me. This, if I had purchased it new, it was around,
I think it's up to about $275, $300.
yeah, about $300 for this.
Wow.
This was $1,200 for that.
Wow.
That was a lot of
Back in the
birthdays.
day, it
And
was
this is
$12 probably.
A little more than that, more
Yeah,
likely
not
about
bad.
$150,
Yeah.
maybe $200.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because this is precision stuff. Most of the stuff was made in Germany or France.
The pharmacology stuff, that all came from, the bottles came from a friend that trained us.
Yeah. And the boxes.
And the boxes. Tables, stuff like that,
I made this table.
makes those. Clothing, I make.
My uniform.
It's very good.
Really, that's about it.
All right.
Yes, if you're ever in Fredericks, said it right
Frederick,
that time,
Maryland.
Frederick, Maryland, the National Civil War Medical Museum is there. In fact, the gentleman that trained us was on the board there for a while. But a gentleman that we know from a small town in Illinois had just this huge collection of original pieces that he donated in order to start this
That was
museum.
core to that museum. Those
So
artifacts.
they have gotten more, obviously, but
Yeah.
if you get out there, go visit it. It's fascinating. Things that you wouldn't think would have been available. Articulated prosthetics. There's a foot that was spring-fed so that it would actually mimic a normal. So, I mean, it has fascinating things in it.
Yep.
And even, it's one of the few places that acknowledges female nurses.
Since people don't, well, prior to the Civil War, nurses were in the Army, were soldiers. They were
Recovering.
recuperating from something, were almost ready to go back to their unit, but needed a little more time, and they would be acting as nurses. And nursing at that time was different from what we were.
So think about this. You're in a hospital. You have an open wound. We know nothing about germs. And your nurse is somebody recovering from something like perhaps measles, dysentery.
Yeah.
Sounds like a real bad combination to me.
That would explain a lot of the battlefield losses.
Well, I'll tell you, we did a thing here just before we started operating on people that showed that 2/3 of the 750,000 soldiers, they were Marines who died, James of the War, died from disease.
Yeah. Or lead poisoning.
Instant lead poisoning.
Well, no, lead poisoning, he
Not
got
necessarily.
shot in the foot, and died from lead poisoning.
That's primarily the
not lead
infection.
poisoning.
Yeah.
It was the infection that
Followed.
got in there. Gangrene usually.
If you understand the mindset, they had gotten to the point where they knew that pus was a sign that the body was trying to heal itself. What they didn't get is something we now know as cross-contamination. So a doctor would see patient A with pus in his wound, and he seemed to be getting better. He would look at patient B, who doesn't seem to be getting better, no pus in the wound.
And he'd implant.
They look at that. They had a term, they call it laudable pus, good pus. And the doctor would look at it, color was right, he'd feel it, texture was right, he'd smell it, okay, laudable pus, so he'd take some of that, cross-contamination.
In fact, the gentleman that trained us, he delights. He feels that it's only been a good presentation if somebody has cried, fainted, or
run away screaming.
or thrown up. So, that being said, he has devised wounds that hold pockets of tapioca. Think about the texture and color of tapioca. Trevor has been known to go, yep, pus. Yep, it's good, let's move it. And that was unpleasant. That was the blood that has the soap in it.
Yeah. We make our own blood.
Oh.
It's easier that way. Well, the problem is, if you buy the stuff that you can get at Halloween stores, in some respects, it's better from the standpoint of the consistency, etc. However, the problem is, real blood doesn't stay this color very long.
Right.
It's red a brief amount of time,
I'll
so
show you
it's too
something.
bright.
My smell. Yeah.
And it stains. And men spend a lot of money on their uniforms and get a little testy. if they
Fake
stain.
blood right here. This is not. It's Halloween blood, and it just doesn't change color. This is real blood. This is my blood, and it's dried, and you see it's turned brown. So if we get a guy that's been wounded for a while, you see, look brown.
So it's,
It
we
should
try
look
to
darker
use,
anyway. And
we like the other blood, but the problem pure and simple is there are some people that just go a little,
well, that's fake blood.
which is funny from the standpoint of some of these uniforms are so ancient you couldn't possibly stain them.
Yeah. But the stuff we make washes out.
It's dawn-dish.
There you go.
The blue stuff.
Did you enjoy that? Did you get to the battle?
Yeah, we did. It was really good, yeah.
Good.
It's been a while since I've been to one. I think, I don't know where it was, but it was a huge thing. Like, they had like 10 times as many tents and whatnot, and we were there because I think it was back in middle school. My teacher said, oh, you get extra credit if you go to this thing. And
Here in Oregon, or was it
yeah, it was in Oregon, and I had
back then? It was big.
I had a history teacher one time that I think it was in the 8th grade. She knew how to make a hardy plank or hardtack. That's what I was getting at, and
Like this.
brought it in for us for taste testing. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't.
Army bread.
Yeah.
The closest I've ever
Hard
seen
to-
somebody actually using that is
Right.
she scraped it into pan drippings and made a gravy
Oh.
because it's just flour and salt.
Yep. They bake it up, put it in a box, and it sits somewhere in a depot for 6 months.
Well, it's not on purpose, but it just happened that way, kind of. Which is why bugs grew in it.
Yeah.
Little holes.
Yeah, Weevil Hotels, Food Bakers.
Yeah.
The Navy had something just about like that.
Oh.
Some factory called Navy Cracker. Just as hard.
Well, I think we're ready for tea.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Nice seeing you.
I'd get up first along those lines.
Okay.
Have a good day.
All right. Well, we got some time before the next battle, so we're gonna walk through and enjoy the vintage trailers that showed up for the vintage trailer rally here this weekend at Powerland Heritage Park, 4th of July weekend. So it's actually it's like June 28th through July 5th. So let's get into it. Lots of good trailers and campers that showed up, so. All kinds of stuff. There. Pictures. Oh yeah, Street of Dreams. Oh, wow, that's pretty cool. I've seen that stuff. Good stuff. Oh, that's interesting. They modified a van into a pulling vehicle. Oh, we love old advertisements.
Truck ads. These are just ones that I found since the ones I sold. Those are all original magazine ads. Those aren't pictures. Those are actual original magazines. Thank you. Yeah, nice talking to you. Yeah. Yeah.
I still have to register.
Oh, you haven't registered yet.
Yeah, come on over. Whenever we're sitting over there. If I give you register.
I went up there. Oh, okay. I got the tag on the front.
Oh, they got the big one. They got the big thing going today. Whoa, let's get over there. So they got that big thing going. Funny. Okay. But that's really cool with this Ford Chevy van that's converted into a pulling thing. Does that door still work? I bet you it does. That's pretty sweet. Okay. Well, they got that one. All American Inn. Something else.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. That is something else. Mhm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mhm. Oh, yeah. That's something else. Huh. Vintage camper trailers. Well, there you go. For all vintage camper trailer collectors, restorers, admirers, and there's a magazine. I like that Airstream over there. That's pretty nice. That one over there, the black truck, and that one. Okay. Those are funny. That is classic. I like that Dodge one there. That's pretty cool. Oh, wow. That's really big. Oh, that's a nice one, too. That's cool. Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's a good setup. Oh. Yeah, that's a pretty nice one too.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, 'cause they charge you by the foot for your.
That's funny.
Yeah, we're stationed up in their car there.
It's really nice.
Is that ideal as a bed?
We're there. They're doing something. Okay. Oh. I like that. I don't know what that is. What is this? It's hard to say. I don't know.
It's fun during the day,
Oh, there you go. Wow. Well, now I gotta save up my money for the state Special Olympics. Dodge Chinook. Yeah, that's a nice one. Home Thumb? Tom Thumb. Oh, okay. Ha, there we are. Is that guy here? I don't know. No. Okay. They have a. Oh, yeah. There you go, the allamericanrally.com. That's a nice one over there. Yeah, I like this one. This is really nice. Subdued. That's a nice one. Another good one. Yeah, this is a nice one. That's so funny. Oh, for sale. Okay. Now this one, I don't know what that one is. I know they got kinds of things. I bet you it's an Airstream. But that's pretty cool. Okay. That was a nice little thing. Okay. And there's a few back here, but aren't vintage. Oh. I gotta fix the nuts. So. got books. We'll take a look. Yeah, I don't know why that's set up like that, but nice. Okay. Okay. Well, I think that's the end of this video for now.
They stayed in camp on Sunday. It was the day of worship. They would have church services. They would, the ladies from the closest town would come out and maybe bring some fruit for the boys or some special things.
Write letters, do some things like that.
Sew on buttons for them. The boys lose buttons right and left.
All the time, yes.
And so we would come out from the closest town to help the Army show their fight.
Absolutely.
Hoping that wherever our sons or brothers or fathers were, that the ladies that were in the town closest to them would be doing the same thing.
Now we've seen some what appear to be ladies in battle.
No, there are ladies that did fight. There were medical ladies that went out after the battle. They were not actually in the battle like you see, but they would certainly be on the sidelines, and they would go out as soon as the battle was over to pick through the wounded and try to save as many as they could. So come on over so that we can all hear.
Well, we are so happy.
No, they're not your kids.
That's right. Yeah, it's so
We
much
looked
more
at 'em first.
enjoyable when it's not yours. Yeah, it's not yours either, Mrs. Hill. Well, we're so glad to have y'all with us this afternoon. I'm Mrs. Little, and this is my sister-in-law, Mrs. Steffen, and we are so happy to have you here. Because as we were telling these fine folks, we can talk to ourselves, but it's not as much fun. We have been reenacting for about
17 years.
17 years now.
Starting our 18th year.
And we're having a great time doing it, and we love it. And one of the things we really like is what life was like for women and children and fashion. So we're going to start out a little bit telling you, first off, there are a lot of things I don't know. I do not know what's happening in Richmond. And I do not care what's happening in Washington, D.C. But I do know what's happening in my little corner of the world, in my community, in my city, with my friends, in my children's schools, in our church.
We can't change what's happening nationally to our country, but we can change our little corner of the world. We can make it a better place for us.
There is not one family that we know that has not been touched by this war. Not one. Our family, in fact. Sister, her husband, we don't know if he's dead or alive. He was a blockade runner. And
I haven't heard from him for months, so I don't know if he was captured. I don't know. I don't know. He sent me to live with my brother and his family because it wasn't safe. And he knows where I am, but he can't get word to me.
And my son, my husband, he is in Fort McHenry in Maryland because he was politically minded, and he felt that southern states should, if they wanted to have the right to secede, they should be able to do that. But before they even got to vote, well, goodness, Mr. Lincoln
he took and he had federal troops come in, and they took
Anyone politically minded was put in Fort McHenry for the duration.
and they did not get, well, let's say, you know, they they took away the writ of habeas corpus, so you weren't arrested, you weren't charged with anything, you were just a friend of the government visiting, and it's not very nice.
But we'll get off of that political stuff. We're
And
going to
we'll-
talk about families.
Well,
So where do families begin? They begin with babies. Boys, you're going to wear a dress till you're 5 years old. Nice, frilly, white, pretty dress. This is a picture of my grandchildren. I'll let you pass it around. Please be careful not to drop it. They're precious. Little Edward and Emma. And as you'll see, little Mr. Edward, he's quite gifted. He's gotten his first haircut, and that means something very special. But another thing you'll have, boys, when you're born, boys and girls will get a corset. Yeah, what? Move on down here closer. But nice, soft little cotton. What do you have on your belly when you're born? Your umbilical cord. This is to keep it clean and dry while it's healing.
And
it's your little
in.
corset.
And in.
And if Mama has a little bit of extra silver coins, she's going to put a silver coin on that belly button while it heals, because silver is a natural healer, but it's also a good luck. Maybe you'll be wealthy when you grow up. So that's your little corset.
Mama didn't have no gold, silver coin.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, so, but boys, when you do get out of your dress, you have to be potty trained. So that's why we say 5,
So
because
Edward's-
some boys take a little longer than others.
Edward's gotten his haircut at 3. That means he's potty trained, but he can't get into his knickers until he can unbutton, because there's buttons below the knee that button his stockings into his pants so they stay up. There's buttons around the waistband that button his shirt in, and he has braces that keep him up. So he's got to be able to unbutton these buttons around his waistband, and they just don't have that dexterity at 3. About 5, they can do it. So if you've had a little boy, you know a dress is easier.
And where does a child learn first? At home. So, little girls, Mama's going to teach you how to be a wife and homemaker and mother.
And a good
because
mama.
That's what your lot in life will be, girls. Is
With
to be
your dollies. This is a church doll. She's the dolly you're going to take to church. Well, yeah, she looks like an angel, but if you drop her on the ground, she is not going to make a lot of noise. What do you think?
There it is. Okay. But this is a little China doll. Now, if you drop her in church, what's going to happen?
She's going to break, and you're not only going to have a big noise, you're going to have that little child crying because her baby
dolly
broke.
has just.
But Mama's also going to give you dollies that tell a story. Anybody know who she is?
Red Riding Hood.
Yeah, we called her Little Red Cape, but she told the same story. Now, these dolls were very specific to your family.
To your region, wherever your family lived.
Yes, and to your actual family. She would look just like you. She might be a boy if you're a boy, but your dolly is going to tell the story to keep you safe. So, Little Red Riding Hood, she has to what? Mind her mama, mind her grandma,
Stay on the path.
stay on the straight and narrow path, always do what is right, and if you don't mind your mama and your grandma and you go walking in the woods, you might find the wolf. Now, different dolls for different regions. When I was in New Orleans, it was a wild pig instead of a wolf. That was the big danger. When I was in Florida, it's an alligator. In Tennessee, it was a bear. And in Minnesota, it's a mountain lion. So whatever the danger was, that's what Mama put on the back of your dolly. And instead of Grandma, it might be Big Sister or Big Brother or Auntie, whoever is in charge of taking care of you.
So little girls are going to learn how to be a wife and mother, and they're going to go to school till they're about 3rd grade.
So suppose, children, you've been really busy and Mama needs you just to have some quiet time. That ever happen? Well, this was our quiet time. Especially during the war. Mama'd give you a pocket. She'd tie it around your waist, and in the pocket is a piece of linen. She's going to have you pull all the threads out of that piece of linen, and you're going to get this wad of thread. Any ideas what you're going to do with it? It's little bitty scraps of ribbon of thread. No. But if you are Big Brother's chopping wood and he cuts himself because he misses, Mama's going to put that in the wound and bind it up tight, and it's going to stop the bleeding. Today we call it gauze, but that's what we would do with it. And it would always be white. Mama'd bleach it out, and you would be lint picking. And it was very important during the war because we would send those little balls of lint to our soldier brother or husband, and he would put it in his bag, and if he got wounded, he would take it out and have somebody put it on his arm that he got shot, and they'd wrap it up tight, and then he could wait the 3 or 4 or 5 days until a doctor could look at it. Now, if you take a solid piece of cloth and you put it on a wound, and you got to take it off 5 days later, what's going to happen? You're going to tear it open no matter how much you soak it. But this could be picked out thread by thread.
And so going to school was important. Girls, you're gonna learn how to read, write, and cipher. Does anybody know how to cipher?
Can you cipher?
What's that?
Can you? Good. What's that mean?
Arithmetic.
Absolutely. You get the prize. There's not one, but you get it. Because you're going to need, girls, you're going to need to know how to add and subtract. Because you're going to keep a ledger, a journal of all your husband's money that you spent,
The household money.
Now, he's worked hard for that money, and he doesn't want you frittering away, so you need to show where it went. Now, sometimes you're married to a very generous man, like my husband, who will give me whatever I need to run the household. But then sometimes you get married to a real stinker.
A real thrifty man that wants to know where every penny of his money has gone. And your records are going to be a little more detailed on exactly what you spent for the household.
And he might want to see that ledger, maybe even daily, but it might be once a month or once a week, whenever you need to have your journal just right, your ledger. So then, after that, then you need to know how to write, because you're going to have to write letters to your mama, because you're going to move far away and live with your husband's family. So you're going to need to be able to communicate with your mother. And of course, reading's real important too, because you're going to have to help your children learn how to read, especially if there's no school around. You're going to be the teacher. So that's with girls. But now boys, you'll go to school a little longer. You might go to maybe about 6th grade, 7th grade, and head on to a preparatory school. If your family's got a little bit of money, a preparatory school would be kind of like high school. Get you ready to go to a university or college. Because if you're the oldest son in the family, you're going to inherit everything. If you're the 3rd or 4th son or more, you're not. because there's not going to be anything.
And you might be apprenticed. You know, especially if you're a good big husky boy, you might be apprenticed to another farmer, or you might be apprenticed to a shopkeeper like the butcher or the blacksmith, so that you can learn a trade. Because boys will not get married until they are able to provide for a family. So you have to have a home, you have to have some property, you have to have some money in the bank, you have to have a way to make more money.
And if a boy, normally, you know, you'd think, well, a young man would want to get married in his early 20s, maybe. Well, if he hasn't got much ambition, he is not getting married, because no daddy's going to give his daughter to somebody that's a little bit, well, let's just be honest, lazy, right? Okay. But if he could be in his 30s, he could be in his 40s, he could be older. And girls, by the way, well, let's see, we've got some girls over there. How old are you girls?
I'm 12.
Oh. Are you promised? No? Oh.
You already married, honey? Oh. Well, if you're not married or at least promised by the time you're 16, Daddy's going to have a party. Yeah, he's probably already picked out your new husband, but he just wants to make sure there's not somebody better that he sees.
Yes. So he's going to start talking about people. It could be, well, she could be lucky like Miss Alexa and get a nice fine young sergeant like my Jimmy. And
yes, he's quite a catch.
He's quite a catch. But then it could be Mr. Wilson.
Oh dear. He's the butcher. She'd never go hungry.
Oh, he's a God-fearing man. He takes his children to church every Sunday.
And he meets a new wife. His last wife, she died in childbirth 6 months ago, and that little baby, oh, she's the sweetest little girl. She looks just like her mama. She's got her smile. But it's those 3 sets of twins.
Boys!
They're all boys. They're 4 and 6 and 7.
No wonder that poor little woman died. Oh, I'm sorry.
So you'd be 16.
She's going to heaven.
And you'd be the mama to 7 children under 8.
And you might be only 16. But what's Daddy going to say? Girls, I'm going to pick on you. What are you going to say if your daddy says you're going to marry the butcher?
Yes, Daddy.
Yes, Daddy.
And you'd, like I said, you'd never go hungry. He's kind of round. He's well fed. But, you know, he's got the butcher shop. You can have all the meat and stuff you need.
So you just never know. But you never want to say no. Oh, my goodness gracious.
You'd be like poor Aunt Sally. She never married. She's 35, and so she travels around and goes from relative to relative, helping out with the harvest. Oh, and she did come when you were ill last year.
When I was sick last year, yes, she did come.
And I heard that she went, when Miss Healy had her last baby, she came and helped out.
Well, you know, it's so hard because now, can you imagine a 35-year-old woman getting married? And if you're going to say no to your daddy, no man's going to want an uppity woman. Because if you say no to your daddy, oh my goodness, of course you're going to say no to him. He's not going to want you neither. So you got to take what you get, girls. Just letting you know. Because you'll always respect your husband. You might learn to like him.
And it's possible you could learn to love him.
Absolutely.
That butcher, he's a good man.
So you never know. But then there's poor.
Could you come down?
Me? Okay, she found someone.
Okay, you can bring your purse down here too.
Just to let you know, folks, if I look at you and you're looking directly at me and I
So they're
don't
with
seem
you?
to respond, it's because I can't really see you.
Your sweatshirt.
My period glasses are
I'm sorry,
somewhere. So we're just doing it blind. So just to let you know.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
That's yours. That's mine? Okay. So, we're going to talk a little bit about fashion now, because we all interested in that, right? You know, have a jest. So, ladies, what's the first thing you put on in the morning? Your panties. So, here's your panties, okay? Now, if you notice, they're a little bit different. They're a little air conditioned. Okay? And when we get all done here, you'll understand a little bit more. If you don't, ask and I'll tell you.
The very first thing she has is her chemise. It is her slip, it is her nightie. It's the most comfortable item in her wardrobe.
Absolutely.
And it's very pretty. We like pretty.
Absolutely. And when it's been hot, like it's been, you wear it to bed, and it's fabulous because it's very comfortable. But as we've talked about before with the belly band, what's life without a good foundation? Nothing.
Sit
So
it tight.
she's getting her corset.
Suck it in.
No, we just had last girl was really tiny. You're perfect. Perfect.
This is probably the one fashion item I'm glad that went out of fashion.
Well, actually, they're not bad. It's quite comfortable, especially if you got a little bit of a bad back. It's kind of nice.
And I broke a rib. Let me tell you, I lived in my corset.
Even when it wasn't 1860.
I'm right on that too.
So she's getting her all inside there. Anyway, and if a husband would say, my wife is straight-laced and uptight, that is a compliment because you are always a proper lady. A proper woman would always wear a corset. Oh, it looks bad. Anyway.
Tighter.
Oh, remember?
Because, you know, you would always be a proper lady. You would always act proper. Because there are things that we cannot do in a corset.
I'm not lacing it tight.
Oh, come on.
And so, but,
don't want anyone to know you've got a corset on. You don't want those lines to show under your pretty dress. So you wear a corset cover or a chemisette.
So, and when you're growing up, girls, you have a soft corset that you wear up until you're like marriage age, and then you have a little bit more support in your corset, and you have soft boning in it like that. And then after you get married and God starts giving you children, you have 10 or 12, 14, you know, however many you get, you need more support. So my supports in my corset are steel.
Oh.
They're steel stays. And my range of motion is not too much, okay?
Now, can you bend over and pick something up off the ground? Oh yeah, you're so flexible. We can do it. It's just not very pretty.
That's right. We can
So
do
you would
it,
hope
but
that if you dropped your handkerchief, that a nice young, good-looking man would pick it up, or a nice child.
or a nice child, yes. And you also, if we get down, you can't get up. So, you know, it's either somebody else lift that up for you or they get the hoist, you know. So you don't want anybody to notice that you have these lines in your corset. You have your chemisette, and then we start adding the petticoats.
Now, we're only going to put one on, but we're going to call it 3. So,
Okay.
can anyone cipher?
Yeah.
All right. So she's got her bloomers, her chemise, her corset, her chemisette. Now 3 slips. So we're at 7.
Yes.
Then we're going to add another 3 slips. 3 more petticoats.
So that we're at 10. Okay.
This is why air conditioning was invented.
Well, we carry our own
air
with us.
conditioning.
And we do this. If you see someone doing that, it's not that they're just wanting to dance, it's they're hot.
And you would be surprised how comfortable this can be in 100 degrees.
Yes.
I did it.
Right? Yes, yes. And so you think about it. Now remember the drawers, the bloomers. And the, well, if she fell down with those bloomers on, wouldn't you hope she'd hope something would be down around her to keep things modest?
Preserve
you know?
her integrity.
Yes. So this is why we wear so many layers. But anyway, now we are slaves to fashion. The rich, the poor, everybody in between. We all want to be fashionable.
So we wear a circus on our legs?
Dear me. Anyway, before this, if she wants to talk circus, I'll tell you a story. Have you ever seen those big Victorian bird cages?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what we wore before the hoop. Because they'd have a door and you'd step into it and you'd clamp it shut and then you'd walk around with this 35-pound bird cage on you. Okay?
And
That's right.
Anyway,
Anyway.
I toured some homes built in 1830 and 1840 when the cage crinoline was very popular. The hallways and the doorways were 8 to 10 feet wide, so that a lady and her escort could walk through and not bump into all the furniture.
Because with Queen Victoria from England, she's amazing. We get all our good stuff from her. Anyway, she had a lady in waiting that brought her a hoop skirt from France. And so Queen Victoria, being the woman she was, she shared it with the world. And a poor woman could buy a hoop for about $1.50. A rich woman could one for the same. Before the war, they were very, very, just perfect for us. We could do it. And so we all got hoops and just kept wearing them then. And so you don't want anybody to see all the lines of your hoop. So
you put on 2 more petticoats. Now, this petticoat just has ruffle at the bottom. The next one, which I'm still working on, I'm sorry, I made some new dresses, would have ruffles all the way up. Because if you're wearing a very sheer dress that is see-through, you want what sees through to be beautiful. So the embroidery on the chemisette, the embroidery on the petticoat.
So, now, have y'all ever seen anybody with less clothes on than this? I'm sorry, but this little lady up here does. Anyway, right now, all you gentlemen would avert your eyes because she's totally indecent right now. This is her underwear.
And she has 13 layers of it.
Underwear.
This poor little girl dress.
Get a dress, yeah. So, while she's dressed, I'm going to tell you about laundry. Laundry day was Monday. And on Monday, we did the wash. And you got a big kettle out, and you build a fire, and you set the fire, and you waited for this big pot of water to boil. What happens? The fire goes out. So you start over again. It was an all-day procedure. We used hot water, Lysol, and Bluin to keep our whites white. And we'd scrub them on the scrub board, or boil them a little while, and then take them out and scrub them a little bit.
What's bluing?
So bluing is like...
It's a bleach.
It's a bleach, yes.
And you can still buy it. Mrs. Wright's Bluin.
Yes.
Has been around since 1840.
And so you do all your whites that day. Now our outerwear, obviously, is not white. And it's made of all natural fibers. So we have wools, we have linens, we have cottons, all the silk. Yes, thank you. I thought there's more than that. What is it? Anyway, we can't wash that on a washboard like we do whites because we'll ruin it. And we don't have enough dresses as it is. A poor woman would have maybe 2 or 3. A middle-class woman would have maybe 4 or 5. 4 to 6 maybe. And then a
woman 8 to 10.
So if you think about what's in your closet and then you think about what we had, there wasn't a whole lot. So we have to take good care of it. And
your outerwear, your dress, would maybe be washed once or twice a year. Because we may have to take each seam apart, wash each piece, stretch it back to the original size, iron it, then sew it back together and hope it still fits. So we're not going to do that every week or every month.
But we're not stinky. Because all of our body fluids are taken into the underwear, which we wash every week.
And you would have lots of petticoats. You would have several chemises, lots of drawers. so that you could wash and still have something to wear.
Okay, let's
Now,
let her walk around a little bit, show you how she does. Now, if you notice, she sorta looks like she's floating. Okay? She's kind of nervous about it right now, but she looks like she's floating. And because we do not want to show any ankle. Now, we do out here a little bit just because we have to be safe. But she is not going to show her
And
ankles.
that's the proper length for her as an unmarried young lady. As you got married, your dresses would go down to the floor, to the ground or the floor, and trail behind you.
But we're not going to do that because we're going to kill ourselves. But anyway, okay, honey, why don't you come over here and sit down? You can do it. Just back up to the chair and sit down. There. Now, look at it.
Now her hoop did not fly up in her face. That's in the cartoons. However, if you do fall flat on your back, your hoop will go up. It's happened. She was borrowing a hat and she got it caught in a tree, and trying to get it untangled, she stepped on her hoop in back and she just went down. And then she looked around and said, "Did anybody see that?" I go, "No." I wasn't going to tell her all the men were watching.
My own defense, my bloomers are not completely period correct.
But there are people that have had accidents that are wearing period bloomers. It's not pretty.
It's not pretty. So anyway, okay,
Come
thank
on,
you so
stand
much,
up.
darling. Okay.
And we're going to have Mrs. Healy come up. And would you like to come up too, ma'am? And you girls, come on up. Come on down. Come on down, girls. Yeah. You're dressed, aren't you?
Oh, you look so cute. Oh my goodness. See, and a girl's dress could be shorter. I mean, how old are you, honey? 12. Oh, your dress can't be shorter. How old is the little one on the end? 6. 6? Okay.
So she's wearing Big Sister's dress.
And she can wear it until it's like about to her knees. Because
she's got her bloomers on.
And she's a child. Okay? But these girls are getting close to marriage age, so they have their dresses down lower. Okay?
And on this one, Mama has added some fabric to it to make it still be able for her to wear. Our children got taller before they got wider.
Oh my goodness.
Now, so we've got different styles for the children. Sometimes we would put growth pleats, which is just a tuck to make their dress shorter, knowing it's not unusual to see a small child with 7 or 8 growth pleats. And every 6 months, Mama's probably taking one out because her little darling got a little taller. Would you like to come up too? That's a pretty dress.
Okay.
Beautiful.
It is a beautiful dress.
All right.
I know, it's okay. I've got to put mine on because I get headache.
So, she has a basque jacket, if you turn around. It's got a very pretty little "Follow Me, Boys" to show off her assets. Now, Mrs. Healy has a little story about her accessories, shall we say.
Well, just stick your little toe out there, honey, so they can see.
She's wearing red shoes.
Yeah. Oh,
Well-
good answer. Good. Because if you were a lady of, well, let's say, not such good reputation.
A soiled dove?
Yes, a soiled dove. Y'all know what we're talking about, right? Pretty much what the adults do. Anyway.
I would want to give a very subtle message to any eligible gentleman that you would pass that maybe you were looking.
Well, and let's, in Mrs. Healy's defense, this poor woman was left. Her no good, rotten, stinking Yankee husband, he wasn't a Yankee at the time, but he went up north and he's fighting against our good Southern boys, and left Mrs. Healy with all those children. How many you got now?
12.
Oh, good heavens! How is she going to feed all those children? She's quite a good seamstress, and making shirts. She can get $17 a shirt. Well, that's or no, 17 cents. What am I?
17
I was
cents.
going to say, wow, that's pretty good.
And it shows from the time the sun comes up until after dark, as long as she can keep her eyes open and see the threads, she can maybe make 3 shirts a week.
That's not much
For
money.
a single woman, no children, to live in a boarding house is 86 cents. That doesn't include oil for the lamp. It doesn't include coal for the stove. It doesn't include anything other than breakfast. Breakfast is included at the boarding house, but not dinner. So what's a poor girl to do? And there's a very good small book about
It's titled, What's a Poor Girl to Do?
and it talks about the options for women that are left with no means of support.
Well, she can't take all those kids back to her daddy's house. He got rid of, he got her married off so that she'd have somebody to take care of her, right? So anyway, okay. Okay, you want to tell about a day dress?
Oh yes. So I'm wearing what's called a wrapper and or morning dress.
Not the boo-hoo kind of morning, but the get up in the morning, okay?
So this is a little bit fancier, so I could go to town in this, but probably I would just be receiving guests in my home. It's also very, very thin, so it's cool when it's hot. It's like wearing a handkerchief. Now she is wearing, like we said, a day dress, so that's what she would wear to go to town. Miss Tanya, she's wearing another day dress. And this is another style. She has got her apron on, and her apron actually has buttons, so that when she is working in the kitchen, she can button it behind her and keep her skirts from the fire.
Alrighty. Thank you, ladies. You want to sit down and I'll tell you a little story. Okay. So Mrs. Healy, her apron buttons, but I'm receiving guests. We're having dinner tonight. And so I go in the kitchen, and my gal Sally, she's been cooking for me. And so I always have to check, because sometimes she forgets things, you know. And so I serve the dinner, and I'll take a little taste. Of course, she forgot the salt again. And so I'm going to turn around, and I'm going to come over here and get the salt. And I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to be very careful, because I don't want to, get my dress behind. And I put some salt in, and I take a taste. Oh, that's so much better, and I go about my business. Well, then, all of a sudden, I smell something that's not my dinner. What is it?
Something's burning, and it's not the stew.
It's me! Okay, now, what am I gonna do?
Stop, drop, and roll.
That's 1960. This is 1860. No. Okay, anybody else got a guess?
Faint with the vapors.
Well, maybe. But what else would I do? Yes, dear. What'd she say?
Pour water on yourself.
The water, it's clear out back.
She used all of it in the cooking. She hasn't had a chance to go out and refill it.
Okay, this is the time when somebody is supposed to say, take your clothes off.
Take your clothes off.
Are you kidding? I'd rather die.
Okay, in her kitchen.
And in my kitchen, take my clothes off, I'd rather die. So what am I going to do? I'm going to scream a little, and I'm going to, help, I'm on fire, I'm afraid. So what am I doing? Yes, and what happens to the fire? Yes, it is. And then what's going to happen?
Then you're going to take your clothes off.
Were you making soup? That was water. Anyway, no, probably first of all, if I don't die outright, what's going to happen?
You're going to get burned.
I'm going to be burned. What's going to happen to my burns? they're going to get infected. Because what are we going to put on my burns?
I don't know.
Butter. Anything else?
Water.
No, we don't use water.
Lard.
We
Beef
use some bear
berries.
grease.
So you just cook
All
Or
those
lard.
very sanitary things.
And so then I'm going to get infected and I'm going to die. Anyway, so the number one cause is not childbirth, it is not disease, it is fire. Yes.
Even if you've got your apron tied back and you're working around a fire, our fire's a pit in the ground. Especially if we're doing laundry. It's really easy to get your dress just a little bit too close, or a spark pops out. So, now, we talked about the dolly and trying to keep our children safe. Well, sometimes it's kind of backfired on us.
Sorry, I can't stand it anymore. Oh, hello. I have a question. What exactly was your help cooking for dinner? Stew. You could have taken a ladle of stew and put out the fire. But it's behind me and my whole fanny's on fire.
Why didn't they wear less clothes to cook in by the fire?
Sometimes they did, but she's receiving gifts.
I'm not going to go in my oldest work dress to try to have company. My goodness gracious. I'd never want to be an embarrassment to my husband. I want to be a proper lady at all times. And so, I want to be fashionable, because this is what our life is being a wife, a mother, this is what we do. So we want to be good at what we do. Now, okay. Now, kids that are here, how many of you know how to swim?
Swim?
Good night. They all do. Well, back in the 1860s, the boys might know how to swim.
About the time they're 15, 16.
But the girls probably would never learn how to swim. And so we thought, and what do we want to do? Because when we wear wool, we have less chance of catching on fire. So what do we dress our kids in? Wool. Well, then they're around a fire and they get they don't burn around the fire, but they decide to cross this little creek. Well, they fall in the creek and they can't pull themselves up because of the wool.
And Mama's cooking dinner and taking care of the baby. Who's she going to send out to the stream to get water? It's going to be the kids. So it kind of backfired on us trying to keep our children safe by dressing them in wool.
Because drowning was the number one cause of death for children. So,
now here's our little boy.
How'd you get a Yankee?
At least one last season every day.
So you
Going to the dark side.
captured him, right? Spencer, the correct answer is you captured him, okay? I'll work with that one. But okay, thank you, boys.
And again, they're all dressed in wool.
Oh, yeah. Lovely day for you.
Yes.
Actually, wool, when it's hot, is a self-insulator.
Okay. Because it wicks.
It wicks the sweat away, and then you're cool. So the men don't mind wearing it as much as you would think.
Oh, speaking of such things, we talked about that we wash our outerwear once or twice a year, and that the men always usually go, ooh. Well, that's not true, because you could smell the Army most of the time before you could see them.
There are many accounts of gentlemen who went the entire 4 years of the conflict and did not wash their clothes or take a bath. The closest thing they got to a bath is if they crossed a river and happened to fall in.
Or had to march in the rain.
Or
Yeah, but they didn't have any soap, and sometimes you gotta have that soap,
So, but there were men, usually officers or men from well-to-do families, that did bathe regularly. They were thought to be crackpots. because they were inviting disease and death by washing. So if you washed more than once or twice a month, you were probably going to die.
And when you got home, man, the first thing your wife or sister or mother or whoever would do would they'd have a curtain pull, you know, like a blanket on a line. You would get behind that blanket. You would strip down naked. They would take a stick and pick your clothes up and throw it in the fire.
That's why there are not a lot of uniforms that survive. Because most of the time they were burned when they got home.
We don't want those creepy crawlies at the house.
And sometimes Mama would take and put you in the tub with your clothes on and scrub you down. And then she'd start stripping them off and still burning it.
But you know, they'd have a big pot, you know, tub kind of thing, and you'd have to get it because they don't want that at home.
Do you want it in your house?
No. No. No.
Not a good thing.
No.
Any questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Were the Southerners churchgoers, and had they ever read the first 5 books of the Bible, or were told how the people then walked around the mountain and they were always keeping clean because they were getting sick?
Well,
they read the Bible daily.
They
must have skipped over that part.
Well, I do believe the Union also skipped over those. Yes, the Southerners were very much churchgoers. They're very strong faith that they shared. Both sides were very God-fearing. Of course, there was those that weren't, but there's always going to be those. You know, there's good people and there's bad people on both sides. But we're all Americans. and look how we are the only nation that has gone through a civil war and come back together, and we're stronger than we were before.
As one nation. Every other nation in the world that's had a civil war of that magnitude has never been able to come back together as one nation.
All righty. Anybody else?
Pretty soon they'll be out to talk about the battle.
Yes, Abby, thank you for coming. Like I said, it would be no fun just standing here talking about
it. We're over with the Maryland line. We'll be doing this all weekend here at 2 o'clock. And feel free to come back or ask us questions. We're glad to all talk.
Maryland, just ask anybody, the crazy redhead sisters that do the fashion show.
I wouldn't say we're famous, but they know who we are.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
certainly
you very
welcome.
much. Thank you. Thank you.
I told you there was going to be drawers.
Oh, of course, I know. We like drawers.
Did many women wear watches?
You would have a watch on a ribbon, or maybe sometimes they have a little watch. Well, no, not a fob, but a little
Purse on pouch?
yeah, a little watch purse kind of thing that you'd put it in. But you know, or it would maybe pin on you.
And men didn't wear a lot of jewelry. They would maybe wear a signet ring or their wedding ring, but they'd shower their wives with jewelry.
Yeah, and men would have
because that showed how wealthy they were, because they were able to. So it wasn't unusual for a woman to have rings on each finger, to have earrings, to have rows and rows of necklaces. That showed how wealthy her husband was.
Yeah.
You
All
bet.
righty, you're welcome. Did you have a question up there, honey? Okay, just checking. Okay, here we go.
Thank you, girls.
Thank you.
And thanks, Amy. Or
Alma.
Alma.
Lydia. Be aware of other horses around you. Do not fire too close to the new horse. Steve, if you feel comfortable, you may fire off. But Dan, do it when you've got plenty of room.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. How are you this fine afternoon? On behalf of the Northwest Civil War Council, I'd like to welcome you to our afternoon battle reenactment. How many of you were here for the morning reenactment? Well, I promise you that the outcome may be a little different. We'll just have to watch closely and see. Now, there's a passage I read which has haunted me for many years. It was written by a gentleman from South Carolina who was in the Army of Northern Virginia from beginning to end. He knew the times were hard. He had no illusions about what warfare was like. And yet he wrote something in his old age which speaks to me as a reenactor, and I think speaks to a lot of us about why we do this hobby. Who knows, but it may be given to us after this life. To meet again in the old quarters, to play chess and drafts, to get up soon to answer morning roll call, to fall in at the tap of the drum for drill and dress parade, and again to hastily don our war gear as the monotonous patter of the long roll summons to battle. Who knows but the old flags, again ragged and torn, snapping in the wind, will face each other and flutter, pursuing and pursued, as cries of victory fill a summer day. And after the battle, then the slain and wounded will arise, and all will meet under the two flags, sound and well, and there'll be talking and laughter and cheers, and all will say, "Did it not seem real? Was it not as in the old days?" Ladies and gentlemen, please allow us to try and present you a taste of how it was in the old days. Thank you.
So, I have a union set up over there, and got some others set up over here. Very nice. Cannons, big boom. Doesn't look like the Union guys right here. Cannons. lots of people that showed up for the battle here.
She just started last year and trying to figure out what role, and now she's going to be a medic. She's going to help.
Once again, the calm before the storm. Alright, here we go. 3 o'clock. This should be nice. The smoke won't stick around so much this time. This time they're coming straight at us. For a little bit here, it's going to be all over the place. most of those guys are gone. Well, it looks like they're going to get ready to charge. Yes. Getting the union again. Yankees over here. boys took this gun.
Might not have been at the end, but it would have been pretty close. The angle was about No, his commander. The one they named the biggest ticket. And he gets a bad rap for a setup that totally wasn't his fault.
I think we almost got him.
Slain and wounded will arise all sound and well. Let's give them a big hand, ladies and gentlemen. Now in a few minutes they'll be lining up in front of us so that I can introduce these fine folks to you. In the meantime, I'll explain to you one of our safety procedures, which you will witness. As you might suppose, it is very easy to unsuspectingly take a loaded muzzleloader off the field, which could be a dangerous situation. So what we will do is the battalions will line up, we will all load up, and then all fire at once. Now there's a friendly competition between each battalion just to see who can fire the most perfect volley, as if one single finger was pulling all those triggers. The Confederates were a bit ragged this morning. We'll see if they improve their performance this afternoon.
No!
The guys are over
On your left, our mounted cavalry. First, in the red neckties, Custer's favorites, the 7th Michigan. And behind them, the 1st U.S. Cavalry. In gray, we have the 1st North Carolina Cavalry and the 9th Virginia Cavalry.
Bring those boys online. Order R. Ready. Sergeant Major. Pull out the gun and have a half a canteen of more water. Alright, I'm not going to finger you out, but I know of some people that have over a half a canteen of water. I want those superintendents to deal with that, okay? Notice I'm not in my persona at the moment because why? Safety issue. Whoa. Whoa.
Flags post.
Come on, boys, hurry. Let's go. Face by the rear right. About. Face. Ready. And fire.
Ooh, what do you think of that, ladies and gentlemen?
Yeah. Over. Arm. Okay. Front right.
Pirates have a high bar to clear here.
Face. That was so clean. We got an echo. Order. Arm. Face by the rear right. About. Face. Rear right. In place. Left. Well done. Ready. Hey. You got the cadence down. That's
Nicely done. Give them a big hand, ladies and gentlemen. And now, the victorious Army of the Willamette. This regiment of expatriate Irishmen fought in pretty much every major battle of the Eastern Theater from first Bull Run to the end of the war. 69th New York. Now this regiment of Scotsmen fought from the plains of Manassas through the swamps of South Carolina through the hills of eastern Tennessee. 79th New York Highlanders. The only regiment of Minnesotans in the Army of the Potomac. On the second day of Gettysburg, July 2nd, 1863, they held off 4 times their number in Confederate troops, buying valuable time for the rest of the Army. 1st Minnesota. Now, this regiment has been in service from the War of 1812 up to the present day. Ulysses Grant's old outfit, the 4th U.S. At the same time the 1st Minnesota was holding those boys off, these lads are being positioned on the south flank, the Little Round Top, about to face the wrath of 3 Confederate brigades. The 20th Maine. From the coal fields of Pennsylvania, this regiment of Irishmen joined the famous Irish Brigade in time for the Battle of Gettysburg and beyond. 116th Pennsylvania. Now, cavalry fought dismounted as well as mounted. These boys helped open the battle this afternoon. The 1st and 4th U.S.
First regiment.
joined with their counterparts in the 7th Michigan Cavalry.
Wolverine!
Now, the most dangerous place in any line of battle was to be the fellows carrying the battalion colors, as you were the target of every rifle on the other side of the field. So let's hear it for the 149th New York Color Guard. And last but not least, providing music for every occasion from balls to battles, the Army of the Willamette Pipe and Drum Corps. Union Battalion under the command of Colonel James Patrick Wallace and his battalion staff.
Sons of the Hounds! Come get your flesh!
It's a Scottish thing. And now the slightly less victorious Army of Northern Oregon. And by slightly less victorious, I mean dead to the last man. These Texas boys from Hood's Brigade fought in many of the big battles of the war, left half their men dead in the cornfield at Antietam. 4th Texas. From the Valley of Virginia, part of the famous Stonewall Brigade, boys marched so fast they were known as Jackson's Foot Cavalry. The 4th Virginia. Boys in the border states had a cruel choice. Some of them went north, some of them went south. These boys were some of the ones who went south. From the 2nd Maryland. Now you will never find a bunch of tougher wharf rats from New Orleans than those fellas in the striped pants, called the Tigers, the 1st Louisiana Special Battalion. And our counterparts in the most dangerous place in the line, the Confederate Color Guard.
God bless Dixie!
Good on you, mate. Now, some call them the Angels of the Battlefield. Our crowd favorite, the CSA Medical Corps. And our other fellows who opened the battle for us today, fighting dismounted, 1st North Carolina Cavalry. Just a few German lads in that outfit. And also the 9th Virginia Cavalry. And down on the end of the line, providing lovely music for us, the Confederate Fife and Drum Corps. Confederate Battalion under the command of Colonel James Stanovich and his battalion staff. Nights around here get pretty interesting. Now, did you like the big guns? Then give a big hand for the 2nd U.S. Artillery, the Rockbridge Battered Artillery, and Pelham's Light Artillery, commanded by Colonel Bruce Alley and his battalion staff. Give them all a big hand, ladies and gentlemen. And to conclude our afternoon battle and battle for the day, the camps will be closing at 4 p.m. Up until that time, well, hurry through, ask questions, we love to talk. And I wish you all a safe journey home and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you very much.
What was the commander's name? Is it Joshua? Joshua Lawrence?
Time.
Okay, and welcome back into the studios here at CCTV. You've been watching Machinery Talk. I hope you enjoyed watching the Civil War reenactments at Powerland Heritage Park and the look at the All-American Vintage Trailer Rally that was on the same weekend. Yeah, I enjoyed going. It had been a while since I had been to a Civil War reenactment, so it was lots of fun. And I really enjoyed looking at some of the camping trailers and walking through the reenactment camps. And yeah, I've thought, I've kind of thought about maybe Civil War reenactment is something maybe I want to do. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, if you follow the Facebook group Rolling Oldies, you might notice that I am an active member on that Facebook group. Yeah, so if you want more information about the Civil War reenactments, I would encourage you to visit the Northwest Civil War Council on their website, which I do believe is nc.org or .net. Anyways, all the links to contact the Northwest Civil War Council, and if you want more information about Powerland Heritage Park, you can go to their website, which is www.antiquepowerland.com, I do believe. And if you want more information about upcoming events put on by the Facebook group Rolling Oldies, you can go check out the Facebook and just search Rolling Oldies vintage trailers. So the big upcoming event coming up next at Powerland Heritage Park in Brooks is the Pacific Northwest Truck Museum Truck Show, which is August 25th and August 26th. This is the 25th annual Pacific Northwest Truck Show. So check that out. And yeah, you can follow me on Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, and Google+. And I'll make sure that I get, at the end of the video here, there will be all the contact information for the Northwest Civil War Council and all the contact information for Antique Powerland, Powerland Heritage Park. I gotta remember that that's what it is. Like I said, I'll have their web address, and I'll have their Facebook, YouTube, and Google+. And like I said, you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and Google+. All of that information will be at the end of this video. If you want more information about CCTV, You can always go to cctv.org, I do believe, and I'll make sure that that gets put at the end of the video too. For those of you that may be watching on YouTube and may not be from Silverton or may not be from Salem. Yeah. Alright, I think that is all that I had for you here in episode 9. Yeah, copies of this show can be made by calling CCTV at the phone number at the bottom of the screen, and also it'll be at the end of the video. But alright, as always, remember, be safe out there with the hobby of old iron, and remember, save a horse, ride a tractor, and remember, if it ain't red, leave it in the shed, and I'll be seeing you on down the road.